I'm Molly McCarthy, I'm the principal. I'll introduce you to a few people. We have two of our currently 6 first grade teachers. We have Kristen Fisher and Joanna Levy. Matt Munsey is our assistant principal. Bonnie Bell is our reading specialist, and behind the camera there is our tech specialist is Amy Moskwa. She's filming it in case there are people that couldn't make it today. Send it out for folks. So we're just going to go through a few things. We're going to kind of talk about placement first. Usually that's on parents' minds of how the kids get placed. Usually our school counselor talks about that. She's not here, so Matt, our assistant principal, will fill you in on that. Mrs. Bell will talk a little bit about where our kiddos should be in terms of reading and things to do and not do over the summer. And then our classroom teachers will kind of bring you through a day in the life of a first grader. We'll answer any questions you might have, and then we'll take you on a little tour of the first grade classrooms. And before you leave, there's some books back there. I'd love for you to take one for your child as a welcome to Little Brook gift. So just pick one up on your way out. So, all right, you are on.
All right, well, welcome everybody, and as Molly mentioned, Kim Blaine, your school counselor, she's out today, so I'm going to be playing her role. So I've got some notes that she emailed me. But prior to getting into this, how many of you guys are sending your first child here? Well, welcome. How many of you are returning Vertibrook parents? Welcome back. I will tell you, I know it's scary. I have three kids myself. I've got a 4th grader, 6th grader, and 7th grader, and your kids will survive. And you guys as parents will survive. And it'll be a lot of fun. Again, I'm trying to think about the things that Kim has said, and Kim tries to calm the parents. So I hope I'm calming you guys down. But as Molly also mentioned, placement is a big piece on a lot of people's minds, and I just wanted to read you this one piece that Kim has done. She reaches out to the sending kindergartens, and she sent each kindergarten teacher a skills questionnaire, and she asked that you please ask your child's kindergarten teacher to return it at their earliest convenience, as we use that information during the placement process. And if you registered your child in the last 2 weeks, their kindergarten teacher may not have received the questionnaire. They will soon. And we do our best to make sure there's at least one child that your child would know placed in his or her classroom. One thing I know we do always mention every year, because we do get requests for, hey, can we place these kids together or these kids with this teacher? There's so much that goes into the placement process. It's like a gigantic science experiment. So we try to do our best, as I mentioned, to pair kids with other kids that they may know. But like for instance, yesterday we had our kindergarten orientation. The kindergarten teachers, the way they described it was sometimes kids will come in with a group of kids that they know, and then they're like a little gang, right? And they're not really going out of their way to meet other new kids. So we really want kids to meet others and be social as much as possible. So a few other things that Kim wanted me to mention, what her role is, not only to support the kids, but if you guys need support, if you guys need advice, anything like that, you can always reach out to her. But what she does, she teaches monthly in the classrooms, talks about identifying big emotions, dealing with those big emotions, friendship makers and breakers, conflict resolution, and positive self-talk. Those are just a few of the things that she talks about with the kids. She leads lunch bunches and helps students to develop their social skills, teach coping skills, and develop strategies to help them regulate their emotions. And she does mention again, don't ever hesitate to reach out to her. She has a lot of resources, and she also has a webpage on the Vertibrook website, so you can go there. There's a lot more resources on there. But again, don't ever be shy reaching out to her or any other staff member for that matter moving forward. But I do want to welcome you all. It's a great place. We've all been here for a long time. There's a reason why none of us have left, and your kids are going to love it here, so welcome.
Yep. Welcome. I'm Bonnie Bell, I'm the reading specialist here, and I think I said yesterday, and I seriously mean this, I could could talk to you all day about reading or all afternoon, but relax, I'm not going to. Welcome your children to our school. I will get to know your children, some of them personally, some of them not so personally, but I will be following all of their literacy journeys while they're with us here at Riverbrook School to make sure that they're making the gains that they should be making, getting the support or the enrichment that they should be receiving for their reading instruction. I meet regularly with classroom teachers and all of our resource teachers here at school to make sure that all of those kids' needs are being met. You're going to hear from our first grade teachers in a very short period of time, and they're going to go through what first grade in general looks like, and then there'll be more information to come. But sometimes parents will get the feeling that, oh my gosh, are they really ready for first grade, and get a little bit panicky and think, we better go out and hire a tutor, and we better start practicing, and we better start studying for all of the things that are going to happen in first grade. Please don't. Please don't. Relax. The single best thing you can continue to do with your children, and I'm sure you've been doing it since they were teeny tiny, is read to them. Keep reading to them so that they have the desire and the want to be able to do that on their own. The other thing is talk to your kids. Make sure that they're comfortable talking about what they've read. Did they enjoy it? Did they not enjoy it? What do you think those words mean? Who would you like to be if you were in that story? Just getting them to use that language is so, so important. And sound play. As crazy as it sounds, play those silly, goofy songs that, change the beginning parts of words so the kids get comfortable with that sound manipulation and all of those kinds of things. Those are fun activities. And that's all I really, really want you to do during the summer. Don't worry. When your kids get here in the fall, not the fall, it's August. When they get here in August, we're gonna find out where they're all at, and I think you teachers would agree with me, first grade is one of the most exciting grades because there is so much growth and change that happens within that year's time. It is unbelievable. You're gonna think, oh my gosh, are they ever gonna get all this stuff? And then when you sit down at the end of the year and you look, wow. You'll be ready for Harvard. So, again, if you have any questions, please don't ever hesitate to call. And I am behind the scenes following your students on every step of this literacy journey. And I'm looking very forward to it.
Hi, I'm Becca Durrell. I have a fourth grader and a second grader. My fourth grader went through kindergarten, fourth grade, but my second grader did start in first grade, so for you guys and it was during COVID, so I have to say they made a great transition. Coming from kindergarten, I was very nervous. It was different coming to first grade, but it was been a great transition, and Christian was one of his favorite people. So, so for the PTG, a lot of parents want to know about the room mom situation because that comes through the PTG. So I'll start with that. In the fall, in August, you'll get a link, probably late August, early September, in the principal notes that will say, or in Parent Square, sorry. They'll give you a link to a Google Doc, and you'll go in there and you'll have opportunities to sign up for different roles within the school. So obviously there's room mom there, and within that there's also a class photographer, which is actually a very important role because we use those photos throughout the year for different things and also the yearbook. We also have It's a Guest, which is our guest artist series. So if you decide to do that, you come in once a month, you teach the kids about an artist. Everything's laid out for you, all the material. So you don't have to come up with new material, you just teach what's been given to you. So what will happen is you'll put your name in the Google Doc list, and then my volunteer coordinator, Courtney McKay, will give those lists of names to the teachers, and they will reach out to you, if they, as needed for a room mom, or sometimes they need administrative people too. One year I did Mrs. Carter's bulletin boards for her, just to help her out. So always things to do in the classroom. As a whole for volunteering, PTG has a lot of events. The ski and skate sale in November, we're always looking for volunteers. The color run, which is coming up, I'm sure some of you have seen the signs around town. that's in 2 weeks, and that is, we're still looking for volunteers for that, so, Grand Friends Day, used to be Grandparents' Day, that's in a few weeks, 2 weeks from now. And we need lots of volunteers for that to help with, directing people where to go, setting up food, so that's another opportunity you have. So throughout the year, you'll see different signups go out too, for opportunities to make food or help with other, events, that go through the school. So, if you need anything, Ollie and Matt, especially they all know how to get hold of me, so feel free to reach out with any questions. Like I said, you'll see emails from us come through the year, and coordinating with the volunteer coordinator, so, any questions? Okay.
All right, you're on.
So I'm Kristen Cushman, one of the, there's 6 first grade teachers right now, so I'm one of them. And then what Julie and I decided today, instead of kind of walking you through what their day looks like, because we do that with all the first grade parents, the first couple weeks of school, we do an open house with just the parents at night, and we go through curriculum and expectations and stuff like that. We're just gonna kind of back it up and get you to where you need to have them for when they start school. All right, so, in July or August, you'll get a letter from one of us, introducing ourselves to your child, and with that letter, you'll also get a supply list of some things that we'd like you to get for your, child to have in class. We do ask that you stick to the supply list the best you can, just because after years of doing this, we know what works and what doesn't work. So like I said, you'll get those, in July or August, depending on when placement is all set. We don't send out a class list at that point, but you can get that, when school starts at the beginning of the year. And, what is it, the Wednesday before school starts, we do a meet and greet, so that's when your child will get to come in and meet us. All right, so it's typically the Wednesday afternoon, and I don't know if that's still the same.
Yeah.
The Wednesday afternoon before school starts, you can bring your child in, there's a window of time that you can bring your child in, they can bring their supplies in, and they'll get to meet us. Just, they can walk around the classroom, find their cubby, find their mailbox and things like that, just have their eyes on it before they start school the next day. When we do meet and greet on that day, they'll have a name tag, which is, that their teacher will give them, we're all different, but on the name tag will be your child's name, their teacher's name and room number, and then if you wanna add their bus number, or however they're getting home. And that's just something we ask them to wear the first couple weeks of school, just to make sure they're all getting where they need to be. As far as, snack goes, we do have snack daily, that's the kids' biggest thing, when do we eat? So we do have snack daily, sometime between 9:30 and 10 in the morning, because as of now, our lunchtime is 12:10. So we try to do, snack between 9:30 and 10. They don't do shared snacks, we don't swap snacks, whatever you send in is what they have. And we also ask for refillable water bottles, but those will all be on that supply list again, but just so you know, they do have snack, in the classroom. And then lunch, you can, they can either send in a lunch, or you can have your student buy hot lunch. And, there's a whole notice that comes home about that as well, and you can find out more about that on Parent Square. And on typical years, we all eat lunch in the lunchroom, but because of COVID, we've split up a little bit. So actually Jillian and I, our kiddos eat in here, and the other 4 classes in the lunchroom. So just to have a little bit more space, but typically they all eat in the lunchroom. And they have recess before they go to lunch, instead of the way it was when we were kids. Also, the biggest thing is there's a bathroom in every classroom. Every first grade classroom does have a bathroom in it, which makes it a lot easier for the kids, user-friendly, you know, and there's also a sink in each one of our classrooms. And the last thing I'm gonna go over before Jillian is drop off and pick up. Obviously, the bus is available to all of you if you live in the Riverwood area. We do encourage the kids to try the bus if that works for your schedule, but if not, drop off starts at 7:30 in the morning, and they get dropped off out back in the circle, and there's teachers back there that will guide them to where they need to be. And same thing in the afternoon, you'll have options that you'll be told about. There's after-school program, you can do parent pickup, you can do bus. Some children go to Bedford Martial Arts, so it depends again what works for your family. And you'll get more information about those things as well for your child's classroom teacher. And I'm gonna pass to Jillian, and then at the end we'll answer questions, and if there are any comments that you might have.
Perfect. All right, so one of the biggest things about first grade is communication. The best way to reach your child's teacher is to email them. And we also all have Parent Square. So typically, classroom teachers will post once a week. That'll be about what the whole class is doing, maybe what they learned in our reading program, Wonders, our math program, Big Ideas, and it'll kind of be a general statement. If it's something specific to your child, you'll definitely see an email come home. Molly posts principal notes on Parent Square. They go out on Fridays, so that's definitely something to look at. It gives you a lot of different information. And Parent Square is nice because you can have an app on your phone, you can get it through your email. There's a bunch of different ways. I find it's very user-friendly. Do you?
We also schedule our parent conferences through Parent
Yes.
Square, which is nice, so that's been very user-friendly for all of us.
Another big thing with first grade is it definitely takes the kids time to get adjusted to it. It doesn't matter if they did come here in kindergarten or if they're new. Kindergarten's half day here. If they go to K+, they are here all day. So it does take a lot of time. So we're very patient with them. We do a lot with them the first few weeks of school. We meet them on the playground so that they know where to put their backpack. Again, that's why those name tags help, because I can spot who are my kids, who might be going to Kristen. We go to lunch with them, we walk them through the lunch line, we give them a tour. They really don't do much by themselves until October-ish. So we really hold their hand and walk them through it until they feel comfortable. Another big thing is first graders attend specials. So we have 4 different specials. We have art, music, library, and gym. Everyone's schedule looks a little different. So for example, my students go to music on Mondays, they go to gym on Tuesdays, they go to art on Wednesdays, we don't have a special on Thursday, and they go to library on Friday. So again, everyone's schedule is a little different, but for my class, my schedule will stay the same the whole year. So you'll get that from your child's teacher. They'll send home exactly when they are. The biggest thing, well, there's 2 big things. One is sneakers are super important on gym days, and library books need to go in a bag. We've had so many accidents where kids have spilled their water bottle on the way to school and then their library book is soaked. But again, that'll be your child's teacher's job to kind of remind you and put that out there. And then for academics, like Kristen said, we do a big first grade open house for all of the parents, early fall. And we'll go over more in depth, but we do reading. So we've got Wonders as our curriculum. So we brought just some examples. So this is your term practice book that your child might get. It goes with each week. There's a ton of different things in here. And then we have some anthologies that we brought. So there's different stories that go with each. They have an essential question. So the stories will go with that. And then for math, we have Big Ideas. And this is just an example of one of the math books that they'll see. And there's some homework pages. There's different pages for them to do. So.
And again, we'll go over all that a
Yes,
lot
we'll
more
go-
in depth, once your kiddos are in first grade and settled.
Yes, and then we also do writing. Your kids will get a journal. Each teacher kind of will go over that with you more, and we'll talk again at open house. And then we do science and social studies. I think that's everything. If anyone has any questions, comments, or concerns.
We are gonna give you a tour of our classrooms, just so you